All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruchah, Hakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you, brothers, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Coming back at you with another lesson. So, as you can see here from blacklistednews.com, this article reads, we the exploited, the U.S. government buys and sells its citizens for profit and power. All right. And in this article, it's going to get into some information, so I'm going to just go ahead and get into it. It says Americans have become easy prey for hackers, scammers, snitches, spies, and con artists, but don't be fooled into thinking the government is protecting you. To the contrary, the U.S. government is selling us, or rather our data, to the highest bidders. By the way, those highest bidders also include America's political class and the politicians aspiring to get elected or re-elected. As the Los Angeles Times reports, if you have been to a political rally, a town hall, or just fit the demographic a campaign is after, chances are good your movements are being tracked with unnerving accuracy by data vendors on the payroll of campaigns. All right. So, whenever there's a political race for the president, a presidential race, one of the demographics that's highly sought after and targeted is so-called Negroes, all right, or minorities, in particular, Israelites, so-called Mexicans, so-called Negroes, all right. That's a demographic that is highly sought after, all right. So with the presidential race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden a couple years ago, so-called Negroes was a target audience that was very important to that race. All right, and it's the same thing that's going to happen again with this next race coming up. Because so-called Negroes are very they're sought to pacify whoever's in the office as president, that political party. It's their main objective to pacify so-called Negroes in the sense of keeping them docile, rocking them to sleep, keeping them asleep, Continuing, it says your phones, televisions, and digital devices are selling you out to politicians who want you to vote. And we know, one of the first things that we learn coming into the truth as Israelites, all right, in Great Millstone, I'll say. I can't speak for other camps or, other groups, but, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, emphasize within us brothers that woke up, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, on down, that voting is off. Because, when I came in 2010, voting was something that Negroes had just started. I don't want to say just started getting into, but that's around the time Jake wanted to become all political and on a whole nother level. Wanted to become political and really get into politics and things of that nature. But the apostles was letting it be known that that's going off. That's not what's gonna help our people getting into the scriptures and learning about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is what was gonna and what is what's gonna help our people. All right. And it's all spiritual, because I remember when I was in the military, when Obama was running for his second term, I think, or first term. No, I forget. I think it was it was his first term. We were let off work early to go vote. And it was a big thing. Pretty much every so-called black soldier that actually voted, was speaking about going to go vote for Obama. We're going to get a black president, so on and so forth. And, I was simple. And back then, I was simple. I wasn't in the truth yet. This was about 2007, 2008. So we got off work early to go vote. And so I'm leaving the base, and I was about to actually go vote. But I was like, man, I ain't about to do that, because I had never voted before. I was like, man, I'm about to go home and take a nap, because I was tired. So I just went home and went to sleep, and I didn't vote. So that was the only time I came close to voting. But because we had a so-called black president, which really he's a Hamite, he's not an Israelite, Obama, that is. Because of that is what lured Israelites, so-called Negroes in particular, to want to put their hand forth to thinking that their vote actually matters, or participating in that. All right. So all this that Obama was a great example of you dangle that carrot in front of Israelites, in front of Negroes, and you can control them, give them false promises, false hopes, so on and so forth. All right. But as it says, your phones, televisions, and digital devices are selling you out to the politicians who want your vote. That's all it's about, man. It's a big gimmick. It's a big game. Okay, it says, welcome to the new frontier of campaign tech, a loosely regulated world in which simply downloading a weather app or game, connecting to Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, or powering up a home router can allow a data broker to monitor your movements with ease, then compile the location information and sell it to a political candidate who can use it to surround you with messages, writes journalist Evan Halper. In this way, we the people have been reduced to economic units to be bought, bartered, and sold by all and sundry. Okay. On a daily basis, Americans have been made to relinquish the most intimate details of whom we are, our biological makeup, our genetic blueprints, and our biometrics, facial characteristics and structures, fingerprints, iris scans, etc., in order to navigate an increasingly technologically enabled world. Those intimate details, in turn, have become the building blocks of massive databases assessed by the government and its corporate partners in crime, vulnerable to data breaches by hackers, cyber attacks, and espionage. For years now, and with little real oversight or restrictions, the government has been compiling massive databases comprised of all manner of sensitive information on the citizenry. Biographical information, biometric information, criminal backgrounds, travel records. There is not a single person in the U.S. who is not in some government database or another, and these databases are increasingly being shared between agencies, fusion centers, and the police. The government has also, with little oversight and few guidelines, been adding to its massive trove of data on Americans by buying commercially available information from third-party sources, as a report by the Office of the Directory of National Intelligence revealed. All right, and there's more to this article. I'll leave it in the description box. But as you can see, hey, this is all NWO, information. This is all this lets you know that we're living in a technocracy, man, in a the New World Order. As I was reading this, I was thinking about the movie Minority Report, because that's all this is, man. Okay, is the Minority Report. All right, so let me get this here in Revelation. Let me start here in Deuteronomy. So this is Deuteronomy 17 and 14, and this is what Moses told us, the Israelites, when we came out of the land of Egypt. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 17 and 14. It says, "When thou art come unto the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are round about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not of thy brethren." All right. So I'm gonna read this in an NLT. Verse 14. It says, "You are about to enter the land Yahweh your power is giving you. When you take it over and settle there, ye may think we should select a king to rule over us like the other nations around us. If this happens, be sure to select a king the man Yahweh your power chooses. You must appoint a fellow Israelite. He may not be a foreigner." So this in itself cuts individual Israelites that go out and vote. All right, because all the candidates that make it to the final stages, where it's two candidates that's running for president, the final two, so to say, they're always heathens. All right, and Jake being so stupid, not knowing the scriptures, not being spiritual, when Obama was running, they think that just because he had brown skin that he was an Israelite. All right, and if you knew any better, you would know that he was a Hamite. All right, spiritually, his spirit didn't mesh with Israelites, man. Okay, so when you setting somebody over you as an Israelite, it's supposed to be a fellow Israelite. All right, it's not supposed to be it's not supposed to be a foreigner. Okay, and knowing that we're in captivity and knowing that you're an Israelite, you should be turned off from voting. All right, you shouldn't be voting. Okay, but going back to that article, this is this world in which we see where all your information is pretty much compiled and sold to pretty much compiled into a database where it can be sold to politicians, and you can be targeted to pretty much be influenced to vote a certain direction. You shouldn't be invested in that, because that's not of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. That's not going to change the outcome of you being an Israelite here in captivity. It's not going to make anything better for you. Believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that's what's going to make your situation better. And ultimately, this place, this kingdom being destroyed, is what's going to ultimately bring comfort, bring healing for you as an individual and for us as a nation. Okay, now let me see, let me grab this. So this is from Britannica.com and it's a Tecnocrocy, right? So it says technocracy, a government by technicians who are guided solely by the imperatives of their technology. The concept developed in the United States early in the 20th century as an expression of the progressive movement and became a subject of considerable public interest in the 1930s during the Great Depression. The origins of the technocracy movement may be traced to Frederick W. Taylor's introduction of the concept of scientific management. All right, so pretty much technocracy is nothing more than scientific management. All right, science, 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 and science is what was being promoted and pushed, by Esau when we had that big pandemic, or plandemic, should I say, the Crown Royal plandemic. All right. And there's more, but that's pretty much the point. All right, science, technocracy is nothing more than science, and you see that God is being removed from every facet of society and replaced with science. Okay, science, science, science. Now, this technocracy is going to lead and is leading to, as we see in real time, to the promotion of the MOTB. Okay. So real quick, I'm gonna grab this in Revelation 18, in verse 9. All right. Because as that article we read stated, that your data is being sold. All right. So this is Revelation 18:9, and this is going into the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and of fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. All right. So those was all at some point in time throughout America's history. These were things that were able to be purchased, here in Babylon. Okay. All right. Bought here, sold here, shipped from Babylon to other countries, shipped from other countries here to Babylon. Okay. So once again, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. All right. So you got people that come here to America and actually, are sold as slaves, from other countries. You got mail order brides. You know what I'm saying? That some gooks that come to America and they meet some man. They got what like programs where you got Moabites, Ammonites, Japhites that come here to the Americas, right? And they get told that they're gonna come here to the Americas and work. You know what I'm saying? You know, and there's a job lined up for them. And when they come here to the Americas, they get sent into a massage parlor that you know, pretty much like a, I don't want to say a whorehouse, but it's a massage parlor where they do happy endings and things of that nature. So here it is, this Moabite woman or Ammonite woman or Japhite woman thought she was gonna actually get a legitimate job here upon arriving in America, and she's told that she has to work a certain amount of years to pay off the debt of her even coming to America. So here it is, she's pretty much working in the sex industry, unknown. Well, you know, upon her coming here, she didn't know that that's what she was going to be doing, and you know, so pretty much she was sold into you know, the sex trade. All right, and that's just one example of you know, as the scripture says, souls of men. Okay, in verse 13, I'll read that. It says, "And cinnamon and odors and ointment and frankincense and wine," and these are all things that these other nations sold to America at some point in time, "and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men." All right, because we Israelites were sold here as slaves. All right, taken from various countries, you know, in West Africa and Europe, and brought here to the Americas, and we were sold as slaves. All right, and you know, this is continuing on unto this day. All right, the whole sex trafficking industry, underground industry that you know, is going on, that high level politicians and you know, businessmen partake in here in the Americas and around the world, man. All right, and so that technocracy, okay, is you know, guilty of that. All right, because all that, you know, is encompassed within that technocracy, that science, that you know, what's the word I'm looking for? That governance, that system of governance. All right, with that type of system, you know, these things happen within that type of system. All right, it's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, but that whole system is leading to the MOTB. All right, that system is leading to everything being tracked. All right, being sold. Everything is for sale here in Babylon and around the world, for that matter. So Revelation 13:15, it says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." So that's what's coming. All right. If you ain't down with the beast, if you don't go along with the system of rule, you know, you're gonna be cut off from, you know, partaking in society. All right. Now, this word "killed," all right, brothers have went into this many times before. It is from the G2443.
Strong's G2443 Hina. Hina.
All right, Hina. It says that in order that, so that it says, let me see. So, hold on. So, okay. G, Salaki for that. G60, G615. All right. This is the right word here.
Strong's G615. Apartino. Apartino.
All right. And it says to kill in any way, whether, whatever, to destroy or allow to perish, to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death, to deprive of spiritual life, and procure eternal misery in hell. All right, what's that's going on? And one. Let me see. To destroy or allow to perish, because that's what's gonna come, man. Being cut off from society. Okay. If you cut off from society, you know, it's okay. Hey, just leave them out there with the wolves. If you don't got no MOTB, all right, that C-hip, you're not gonna be able to partake in society. You ain't gonna be able to, as the scripture gets into, you know, buy, sell, or trade. All right. Look here. All right. Right here it says an example, so as to put out of the way. All right. You know, not being a part of society, as I said, and so like not being part of society, you know, you just gonna be out there, man. You know, left to fend for yourself. Okay. Because everything is getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder to survive, man. Merely doing a simple banking transaction, all right, is becoming more and more difficult. You know, supposedly technology is supposed to make everything easier, but simply wanting to trade, to send money, like everything, you can use you know, these apps to send money to friends or family, but now it's a restriction on how much money you can send, or it's a restriction on how much money you can get from the ATM. All right, depositing money, paying rent electronically, everything is becoming more difficult, despite technology supposedly making things easier. Okay. And ultimately, they're gonna, you know, squeeze everybody into, hey, take this MOTB in order to, you know, operate in society, which that is you know, pledging your fealty to the system, all right, to Shaitan, to the devil, to Satan, okay, all right, and you ain't supposed to do that, all right, because that's you setting, you know, Esau as your king, as your God, okay, above the Heavenly Father, and that's going to lead to death. All right, verse 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, so if you go along with that system, you know, you'll be able to buy, sell, you know, trade, you know, do the, you know, the normal everyday things, business wise or transaction wise, if you receive that mark. Okay, you know, and also you have the Bill Gates of hell, as a brother Yashawamba, the elder Yashawamba calls him, that wants everybody to have that digital ID. All right, and we know that digital ID is an MOTB ultimately. So if you don't, and they're talking about that restricting people's ability to travel, or if you don't have that. So first is going to be, we want you to have this identification so we know that you're not no terrorist and you have good intentions upon traveling. Okay. But then it's going to lead to, other avenues of life, financial. Okay. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which we know that's 666. And every barcode known to man has a numerical language in which the first two long lines, the middle two long lines, and the last two long lines on a barcode numerically equal 6. All right, and there's 3 sets of those, which equals 666. All right, which brothers have went into many a times. So we know that these microchips, contain that technology. All right, contain that barcode. All right, so that's how we know what the MOTB is, and you got to be a fool to receive that. All right, but once again, this technocracy, where everybody's information is sold, collected and sold, compiled into a database and sold to the highest bidder, that's all leading to control. We know what you're doing. We know what you're thinking. We know what you buy. We know what you want to buy. We know what you eat. So on and so forth. And that's being used as a means of control. And the ultimate form of control Esau is aspiring to achieve is having everybody take that MOTB. All right. So, I just want to bring that out. Abaratazah, that was edifying. That's why we need Yahweh Shem Yahushua to destroy this place, man. Bring that on. We welcome, Esau implementing that MOTB, making that mandatory, because the sooner he does that, the sooner the Lord is going to stand up to defend those that fear the Lord. That's why it says in 2nd Ezra that there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, man. And those that fear the Lord is going to be found to, no matter the cost, refuse to take that sea hip. All right, so they're going to refuse to take that MOTB. All right, and by doing that, Esau is okay. Well, we just get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Cut them off from society. Ultimately, put them to death. All right. So you got to be ready and prepared for that, man. If it come down to it. All right. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Till next time, shalom, shalom.